In Seattle and across Washington state, the idea of fatherhood is evolving. What was once a legal system shaped largely by assumptions about traditional family roles is now being pushed toward a more balanced understanding of parenting. Fathers today are increasingly involved in their children's daily lives, from school drop-offs to medical decisions to emotional support. Yet when family relationships break down, many fathers still find themselves uncertain about where they stand under the law. Washington is often viewed as a progressive state when it comes to family law. In theory, courts emphasize the best interests of the child and avoid gender bias. In practice, fathers frequently report feeling unprepared for the legal realities of custody disputes, parenting plans, and child support proceedings. The gap between what the law intends and how it is experienced has fueled a growing conversation around fathers' rights in Seattle. This conversation is not about diminishing the role of mothers. It is about ensuring that children maintain meaningful relationships with both parents whenever possible, and that fathers are treated as equal participants rather than secondary caregivers. Understanding Washington's approach to custody. Washington state no longer uses the term custody in the traditional sense. Instead, courts rely on parenting plans that outline decision-making authority and residential time. These plans are designed to be child-focused, emphasizing stability, safety, and continuity. On paper, the law does not favor one parent over the other based on gender. Judges evaluate factors such as each parent's involvement in the child's life, the emotional needs of the child, and each parent's ability to provide a stable environment. However, many fathers entering the system for the first time are unaware of how heavily their past involvement will be scrutinized. For fathers who were active caregivers before separation, this framework can work in their favor. For those who worked long hours or deferred certain responsibilities during the marriage, the adjustment can be more challenging. Courts often look backward to determine future arrangements, which means fathers may need to demonstrate their commitment quickly and clearly. This reality has led to a growing emphasis on preparation. Fathers who understand the legal expectations early are better positioned to advocate for parenting plans that reflect their role in their children's lives. The emotional toll of family court. Beyond legal complexity, family court can be emotionally overwhelming. Many fathers describe the experience as isolating, particularly when they feel misunderstood or stereotyped. The fear of losing daily contact with their children weighs heavily, and the financial strain of prolonged litigation adds another layer of stress. In Seattle, where the cost of living is already high, child support calculations and legal fees can place significant pressure on families. Fathers navigating divorce or separation often face difficult decisions about housing, employment flexibility, and long-term financial stability. Mental health professionals increasingly note the emotional toll these cases can take. Feelings of frustration, grief, and anxiety are common, especially when fathers feel they must constantly prove their value as parents. Support systems, both legal and personal, play a critical role in helping fathers remain focused on the long-term well-being of their children. Shifting perceptions of fatherhood. Cultural perceptions of fatherhood have changed dramatically over the past few decades. Today's fathers are more hands-on than previous generations, and many view parenting as a core part of their identity. Seattle's tech-driven workforce has also contributed to this shift, with remote work and flexible schedules allowing more fathers to be present at home. Family law, however, often lags behind cultural change. While statutes may be gender-neutral, implicit biases can still surface in negotiations or courtroom dynamics. Fathers who are soft-spoken or conflict-averse may feel overshadowed during contentious proceedings. This is where experienced legal guidance becomes critical. Attorneys who understand both the letter of the law and the realities of the courtroom can help fathers present their involvement clearly and persuasively. Legal advocacy focused on fathers. Over the past decade, a number of law practices have emerged with a specific focus on advocating for fathers in family law matters. One such attorney, based in Seattle, has built a practice around representing fathers who want to remain active, present parents during and after legal disputes. Chris Jackman, owner and managing attorney of the Jackman law firm, has spent more than 12 years working with fathers navigating divorce, custody disputes, and parenting plan modifications. His firm began with a single Seattle office and has since expanded to serve clients in multiple states, reflecting a broader demand for legal advocacy that takes fatherhood seriously. Attorneys working in this space often emphasize preparation and education. Fathers are encouraged to document their involvement, understand the structure of parenting plans, and approach negotiations with a long-term mindset. The goal is not to win against the other parent, but to secure arrangements that allow children to maintain strong relationships with both sides of their family. The importance of early action. One of the most common mistakes fathers make is waiting too long to seek legal advice. Many assume that fairness will naturally prevail or that informal agreements will hold up in court. In reality, early decisions can shape the entire trajectory of a case. Temporary orders, for example, often set the tone for final parenting plans. If a father agrees to limited time early on, even with good intentions, it can be difficult to expand that time later. Understanding this dynamic is essential for fathers who want to remain actively involved. Seattle family law practitioners frequently stress the importance of being proactive rather than reactive. This includes learning how courts view parenting roles, understanding financial obligations, and communicating effectively through legal channels rather than emotionally charged exchanges. Moving toward cooperative solutions. While litigation remains necessary in some cases, many Seattle families are turning to mediation and collaborative law as alternatives. These approaches aim to reduce conflict and prioritize cooperative problem-solving. For fathers, mediation can provide a more balanced environment to express their priorities and concerns. It also allows parents to craft customized parenting plans that reflect their unique circumstances rather than relying solely on court-imposed structures. That said, mediation is most effective when both parties are informed and represented. Fathers who enter mediation without a clear understanding of their rights may inadvertently agree to terms that limit their future involvement. A broader conversation about equality. The growing focus on fathers' rights in Seattle reflects a broader national conversation about parental equality. As families become more diverse in structure and roles, the legal system continues to adapt. Some legal practitioners in the region have made this shift a central part of their work, including Seattle attorney Chris Jackman, who has spent more than a decade representing fathers seeking to maintain active, meaningful roles in their children's lives. Advocates argue that supporting fathers ultimately benefits children. Research consistently shows that children thrive when they have stable, positive relationships with both parents. Ensuring that fathers are empowered to remain involved is not a zero-sum game, but a step toward healthier family dynamics, a principle that has increasingly influenced how family law cases are approached in Washington state. Law firms, community organizations, and policymakers all play a role in shaping this future. By addressing outdated assumptions and emphasizing evidence-based decision-making, Seattle's family law system has the opportunity to lead by example. Looking ahead, fathers' rights in Seattle are no longer a fringe issue. They are part of an ongoing effort to align family law with modern parenting realities. While challenges remain, progress is visible in the growing awareness, specialized legal advocacy, and increased dialogue around shared parenting. For fathers facing family law disputes, knowledge remains the most powerful tool. Understanding the legal landscape, seeking experienced guidance, and staying focused on the best interests of their children can make a meaningful difference. As the conversation continues, one thing is clear. Fatherhood is being redefined not just socially, but legally. And in cities like Seattle, that redefinition is shaping the future of families across Washington state.